Hello, beautiful people. SN Valendas here again with another video. Today we're going to be doing another how to draw video. The topic of today's drawing is Suzume, which is a fairly recent film. It came out not too long ago. I saw it in theaters. By complete surprise, I was taken on a very nice date to the movie theater and I saw it, and it was really, really good. I went in with no expectations, which is good. I honestly, I haven't really gone into any movies for a while with any expectations, if I'm being like super honest. I just don't expect anything to be good anymore, and that's a good thing for me at least, because you know what they say, if you keep your expectations low, you'll never really be disappointed. And I think that does help, and it helps with other things in life as well. And it's not bad advice to live by, like, not at all. So, let's draw Suzume. This is the main character. So, spoilers. If you don't want to hear the spoilers and you want to see this movie, I definitely recommend not watching this video. But yeah, so this is the director of Your Name and Weathering with You, and I have seen neither of those anime movies. Neither of those animated films. Let's just say the animated films. Yeah, that sounds better. I know people are obsessed with Your Name. It's supposed to be really good. I just never got around to seeing it. I've seen the trailers and like clips and stuff, but it's just one of those things where, I'm a busy person. And I probably would have never seen this either if I hadn't been taken, which I really appreciate. It was a very, very good movie. So basically, the plot of this movie is Suzume here. She is our heroine, and she gets sucked into this magical plot line where uh, the guy you see in the doorway with her, his name is Sota. And so this guy, he's like a keeper of a bunch of random doors that are throughout Japan. And these doors need to stay sealed to contain a beast called the worm. Because of the beast, if the worm is not contained, it will wreak havoc. It will make natural disasters appear like all over the place. And it's actually referenced, a lot of Japan's natural disasters are like traced back to every time the worm like got out of these doors and no one stopped it. So this is like the movie's way of explaining these natural disasters that Japan has had over the many hundreds, possibly thousands, probably thousands of years. Um, and it heavily references the 2011 earthquake. Like, damn, I was in high school when that happened, and I remember like how horrible it was. And dude, all the weebs, like all the people who loved like Japanese culture and everything, we were trying to support. We did fundraisers. We sold like candy and chips and Gatorade and stuff. Sorry for the noise, but yeah, it was just it was really sad, and the footage was terrifying to look at. And so Suzume actually lost her mother. Her mother was a nurse, and she was caught up in the 2011 earthquake. So Suzume is actually technically an orphan, but she lives with her aunt in a very, very small town. And her world is turned upside down. Oh, Suzume is very low. She needs to be up higher. Okay, let's take Suzume here and move her around a bit. She needs to be able to reach the doorknob, doesn't she? That should be good. Yeah, we'll put Suzume right there. No, she could have nicer hair. But anyways, so her world is sort of turned upside down with when the Sota guy appears. He's like, "Oh, have you seen any weird doors around here?" Or blah 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 and stuff. She's like, "No, never seen any weird doors." And then, yeah, cue later when she sees like weird smoke coming from some bathhouse ruins. And it turns out that the worm uh, takes advantage of places being abandoned, and then those are the doors that he uses to get out, and to go places. and to, destroy lives and create natural disasters and everything. And so Suzume actually helps Soda close this first door. And it's inferred, but we don't know right away that the reason that the worm got out was because of Suzume, because she actually found the door before Soda did. And there was this little like fox like rock thing that was hanging around, and she picked it up, and when she picked it up, it came to life and it ran away, but it just looked like a fur ball. We couldn't really see what it was at the time. And then so she kind of is at fault for the fox spirit thing, Daijin, for it not only coming to life, but it leaving its post. Like the keystone has to stay there, or else the worm gets free, and then that's when it, causes a lot of disaster and people die and stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a very beautifully animated movie. A lot of the scenes are just captivating, breathtaking. The friendships that Suzume has as she goes on this adventure, because what happens is, so she helps Soda stop the worm, right? And then Soda's like, "Where's the keystone? It should be here. The worm should have been getting loose." And then we find out the cat fox thing got loose, and what it does, it curses Soda because it wants to be with Suzume because it wants all of Suzume's love, and it thinks Soda is in the way, so it curses Soda to be a chair for literally he's a three-legged child's size chair for the entire movie. And the basically the plot is them chasing a little cat fox thing you could see there at the bottom. It's right there. Yeah, you can see it. That thing. And I guess I should shove it right here, huh? I'm a little cat. I'm a bad cat. Very bad cat. Very, very naughty kitty. Basically is causing destruction around the world, kind of, I guess, or at least around Japan. Go back. There's not a whole lot of room for us. We're gonna have the cat do a slightly different pose, like this. Yay, I'm a kitty. And, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's fine. So Soda is now a chair, and they're chasing Daijin, this cat spirit fox thingy. They're chasing it around Japan and closing doors along the way. Like more doors open up in other abandoned places, like an amusement park. When they get to Tokyo, it opens up into a subway, and there's like a whole bunch of like little side stories going on. Like, it's building the relationships because Suzume does meet a lot of people on her journey. And these people help her grow up and shape her into a fearless hero who's able to fight off the worm at the end of the movie. Not only fight off the worm, but she is able to get Soda back into his human form, because he actually gets like trapped in the ever after, which is basically the afterlife where people die, and their souls stay, I'm assuming. He gets trapped there as the chair because he has to become the new keystone because Daijin, this little cat thing, doesn't want to be the keystone anymore. So that's why it cursed Soda to become um, the new keystone. And it's actually kind of weird how they do it, but it's whatever. You know, some of the logic doesn't follow quite right with me. Um, Mostly, so towards the end of the movie, right? We're getting pretty close to the end of the movie, blah blah blah, and the aunt finally tracks down Suzume after chasing her throughout Japan as well, because Suzume runs away from home. She's only what, 17 or something. So she's technically not an adult, but she's old enough, you know. But still, that's scary, you know. You're essentially your child is running around with a stranger you don't know, or strangers. You really don't know what's going on, and she's being very vague every time she calls you on the phone. You see that she's running through all her money in her bank account, like you don't know what's going on. You know, I'd be frightened. I'd be very concerned for my daughter, my ward, whatever, you know. And yeah, it's just weird because there's another keystone. There's two keystones. So there's Daijin, and then there's a giant version of Daijin that's black, and it's called Sadajin. And that one is basically possessing the aunt at one point in the movie, and it makes her say like a bunch of like really horrible, mean stuff to Suzume because you know she's frustrated and everything because the trip is everything's weird and there's like a worm and the end of the world, and then there's all this stuff about 2011 earthquake with Suzume's mom and like what her mom, all the lives that her mom tried saving, stuff like that. You know, they actually pack quite a bit of character development into this movie, and it's not a short movie, so I guess they had the time, but still, it felt for the most part well paced. It did get a little slow in some parts, um, but you do need those slow moments, right? Because if you don't have those like slow moments, you don't really appreciate the action as much when it does happen. And there's the action is so good. The music is so good. Oh my goodness. It really pulls you in and draws you in, and it's just incredible. Really, really good stuff. Um, and you know, I wish I could draw like the way they drew in this movie, but I have to remember too, this this is an entire team of people. This isn't just one person drawing all this, right? This is like hundreds of possibly hundreds of people, okay? And maybe it wasn't hundreds, maybe it was a smaller studio, maybe it was only like 50 people, but still, that's more than just a single individual. And that's why it's good to have a team because you can easily get this stuff done, or at least get it done quicker than you could if you did it all by yourself, right? So that's why I was just in awe at the scenery, at the beauty. And yeah, it's an interesting take, you know, saying that, oh, the reason Japan has these earthquakes and all these natural disasters is when the worm gets loose because it hasn't been contained or whatever, which happens occasionally, which is why they have like soda here, Chairboy. They're called closers, and they're it's a it's a job that's passed down. I guess it's not hereditary, well, a little bit, because you it has to be in your blood for the most part to be able to even see the doors and to see the worm because it's not visible to the common people. They can't see this stuff, but he can, and Suzume can because it turns out Suzume here, she needs eyebrows. Suzume here actually went to the Ever After when she was little. She got lost there because she was looking for her mom after the earthquake, and her mom unfortunately didn't make it. She passed, you know. And so, because Suzume went to the Ever After when she was younger, she was kind of like marked by it, like touched a bit, and that's why she's able to see everything that Soda can. And she is essentially the one who ends up closing all the doors and doing everything because he can't, because he's a chair. He's literally just this part, just the chair part. I'm making him as he is for the most part. He does turn back into a human. I don't like that. We'll have it come under. Yeah, well, it'll be under like that. That looks a lot better. Okay. And he does turn back to human after Suzume works really, really hard to get him back into human form. And it's just odd to me because he has a grandfather, he has like relatives and stuff. And then when Suzume tells the grandfather, oh my god, Daijin uh, cursed Soda into being a chair, and now he's cursed to be the new Keystone because Daijin doesn't want to do it anymore, the little cat thing. Little trashy cat, little attitude boy here who doesn't like Soda just because he happened to be in close proximity with Suzume at the time. Yeah, anyways. So, and the grandfather just sighs like the grandfather is dying. He's in his deathbed basically at the hospital. He's dying and he says, "Oh, well, I guess that's the way it is." Or something. Yeah, I don't even think he says that. I think he just like sighs and he's like, "I see," or something. It's so just apathetic. And it's shocking to me because Soda talks really highly of his grandfather and stuff, and then the grandfather just doesn't give a shit. He's like, well, I guess my grandson is a keystone now, like whatever. So yeah, for the most part, it was a good plot. Everything seemed to make sense, except for the fact about Sadajin who possesses. We don't know why Sadajin possesses the ant for that brief moment. I guess it's just plot convenience, because they needed some tension, more tension between Suzume and the ant, or they needed to give the ant a reason to like say horrible stuff. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure about that. Oh, I need to do the title here. Suzume. But yeah, I don't know. So that was weird. I also didn't quite understand. So the big one of the biggest plot twists is that when Suzume is lost, right, in the ever after, we and she thinks that she is saved by her mother. Like her mother guides her back to the door so she could go back to the living world. And throughout the whole movie, that's who we think was the person who did that, who not only led her back to the door to the living, but gave her back her childhood chair, this chair that Soda becomes possessed by. And it turns out that it wasn't Suzume's mother at all. It was actually Suzume herself. So time doesn't work the same in the ever after. So Suzume actually saw her younger self get trapped in the ever after when she goes into there to save Soda. And Suzume, she comes to realization like, oh, this was always meant to happen. This was always meant to be, like that type of thing, and to make sure that her younger self can still get out of the ever after, so there's no like paradoxes or guess or not paradoxes. I'm not an expert on time. I guess to make sure that the future happens the way it should, she goes over to her younger self with the chair that Soda is no longer possessed by. He's back in his full human body, so the chair is just lifeless now. And so Suzume takes it over to her younger self, and she gives her younger self like a pep talk, like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna do so many great things when you grow up, blah blah blah," and stuff like that. And it's just weird because we don't know. Well, I guess the biggest thing for me was that we still don't know why the chair has only three legs. Because that was a big plot point. Like, Suzume doesn't know why. She's like, oh, it's just given to me like that. And there's no explanation. Like, there's no scene in which we see that the chair goes from having four legs to suddenly having three. Because the jump, technically, it might not even be like the same chair from the same universe. I don't even know. It's very odd and it kind of just threw me off because now I'm obsessed with the fact that I don't know why it only has three legs. And I was hoping that would get resolved because they did put quite a bit of emphasis on the three legs part, and maybe that was to signify um, not being complete or having a part of you missing because she is deeply missing her mother. So maybe that's just a symbolic thing, which is fine. But other than that, other than the chair thing, a little bit confusion on the time travel aspect. Other than and Sadajin possessing the ant, I'm not. Oh, and the grandfather being all weird and apathetic. These are very small things in the grand scheme, right? Like these are not make it or break it or be all end all, whatever you want to call it, things. Let's put some flowers. Yeah, let's do some flowers here. It is a very good movie. It's a very beautiful movie. I recommend it if you want to go watch it. If you're already A fan of Shinkai, the director, Makoto Shinkai. If you're already a fan of his, you'd probably like it either way because you are already familiar with the style and everything. I'm honestly a fan. I like it a lot. It's beautifully drawn. The music is great. The story is very straightforward. I could understand it for the most part. There was one other thing that was bugging me, but I can't remember what it was anymore. Yeah, I have no idea. But it's definitely a very Japanese film with the sense that it talks a lot about nature and the natural world and the order of things and feelings, a lot of feelings that occur. Oh, hi, Duo. Thanks, Duo. You could go away now. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, it's just it's good. It's really good. Go see it if you like these types of movies. It's got action. It's got a little bit of romance between Suzume and Sota. I thought it was platonic for the most part, or at least I hoped it was, because she's underage, he's like 30. But yeah, lots of really good relationships with all the people that she meets. Lots of good relationships with Soda as well. Oh, that's Eraser. I was like, why is it deleting stuff? Yeah, honestly, I'd probably rewatch this and try to understand it a little bit better. I also don't quite understand Daijin's motive here. Daijin, this little cat fox thing, 'cause it's obsessed with Suzume, and I think it's obsessed with her because when she touches um Daijin in his stone keystone form, he warms up and he becomes alive again. And I think that's why he became obsessed with her and he wanted to no longer be the keystone because, he wanted to be with Suzume. And that's why he curses Soda here to become chairboy for all eternity. Uh, as far as we were aware until, Suzume here saves him. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just really not sure on Daijin's motives. It seemed like he wanted to cause natural disasters. It's not entirely clear because if he's the one who's opening the doors, or if they're just opening on their own because there's only one keystone now. Because Daijin is doing everything by itself. Because I mean, Sad Daijin is doing everything by itself because Daijin here doesn't want to be a keystone anymore. And Sadaijin can't hold the worm at one point in the movie, and then that's when Soda becomes like the second keystone officially because the worm is about to swallow Tokyo and kill a lot of people. So yeah, it's a little muddy in that regard, but like I said, you understand it fairly well. At least I understood it a lot better than I thought I would. A lot of symbolism, a lot of talking about history and stuff. Lots of good stuff in this movie. It really made me feel. It made me feel appreciative. It made me appreciate this art form and the beauty of life and death. And it really hit home for me because I've had a lot of people pass in my life in the last 2 years, more than I'd like to happen all at once. Body count is up to 5 now. um, Close people. I know others that I wasn't as close to, but I know of them, and they all have also passed. So the body count is fairly high. But yeah, good movie. Um, it definitely is. It's a little bit of a sad movie, but it has a hopeful ending, which gives you back that hope and those good feelings, right? Delicious feelings. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, you guys. There it is. There's Suzume and her lover, Chairboy, Soda. Yeah. I like this piece. I like this a lot. Yeah, Suzume looks happier here than she does in the poster. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye bye.